House Republicans are moving forward with an impeachment inquiry that could make Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas just the second cabinet official to be impeached in U.S. history.
Just after midnight, the Homeland Security Committee voted along party lines to push the two articles of impeachment forward. This follows a year-long investigation led by Republicans who claim that Mayorkas failed to comply with federal immigration laws in his management of the southern border crisis. Democrats on the committee have called the investigation against Mayorkas, quote, a politically motivated sham.
NBC News Capitol Hill correspondent Ryan Nobles joins us on this now. Ryan, good morning. So first, catch us up on this debate. It went well into the night. What did we hear from both sides?
Yes, Savannah. In fact, the final vote didn't happen until most of us were sound asleep around 1 a.m. this morning. And it was along party lines, 18 Republicans, 15 Democrats voting to advance this to the full House. And it was a lot of partisan back and forth. And Democrats had the opportunity to just offer up amendments to this resolution. And they just kept doing that over and over again to extend the process and demonstrate what they believe is a political stunt by Republicans to try and muddy up the immigration debate and lay the blame on the immigration crisis right at the feet of Alejandro Mayorkas, the Homeland Security Secretary, and, of course, by extension, President Biden. The sum total of it all, though, was exactly what we expected. This will now go to a full House vote probably sometime next week.
So Secretary Mayorkas himself is in talks with the Senate to try and pass this border security package we've been talking about for several days now. He wrote a letter to the panel saying the accusations don't rattle him. He remains devoted to serving the public. What else are we hearing from Secretary Mayorkas? And at some point, could we see him testify in his own defense?
Yeah, you know, Joe, I think that's one of the interesting aspects of this debate is that there is actually quite a bit of common ground between Republicans and Democrats, that there is a problem on the border. Where it gets caught up is in the political back and forth about it as a potential campaign issue. And what Secretary Mayorkas said in his response to the committee as they're looking to impeach him is that he is interested in new legislation to try and solve this problem. He has been a part of these negotiations, as you rightly point out. In the letter, he says the problems with our broken and outdated immigration system are not new. Our immigration laws were simply not built for 21st century migration patterns. And so, you know, this immigration debate, it's been happening a long time. This isn't a new issue by any stretch of the imagination, and it's always been so divisive. That divisiveness on full display during this hearing last night.
Ryan, you mentioned a little bit about next steps here, but tell us more in depth. House Speaker Mike Johnson has promised to move these articles of impeachment against Mayorkas to the floor quickly. What will that look like?
Yeah, in fact, the Speaker out with a statement this morning. He called this a solemn process, but he said it was the duty of the House to move this process forward. It will now go to a full House vote sometime next week. That can pass with just a simple majority, but it is no guarantee, primarily because Republicans have such a thin majority. If they lose just 2 votes, that could potentially stop this from moving forward. If they do end up passing the articles of impeachment, it then moves to the Senate, which will be forced to hold a trial. That will be a public setting. It will certainly be part of the campaign as a result, but it is very unlikely, almost impossible, that it actually leads to a conviction. That would require 2/3 of senators voting against it. Of course, Democrats do control the Senate, and if he were convicted, that would ultimately lead to some sort of a penalty, which could be removal from office. That also is very unlikely. So what this ends up being, as these things often do, is a political football that both sides are going to use either for or against, depending who is running for office. And it comes a time where there are lives at stake. This is a humanitarian crisis along the border, and it also gets right in the middle of these bipartisan negotiations around a border package, which is aimed at solving this problem. There is a very good chance that there's going to be just too much politics at play in order to get that over the finish line.
All right, Ryan Nobles, thank you very much.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.